While Filipino families are known to have close ties, some may feel that these are what restricts their growth. Maybe some of you have experienced them too. For example, have you ever felt that you weren't allowed to be yourself despite all the love they gave? Or maybe you were there mostly to fill a need and keep the peace. Well, it might not actually be because of close ties, but rather a concept called enmeshment. In 1974, family therapist Salvador Minuchin coined the term enmeshment. He used it to describe families with overly open boundaries, where members absorb each other's emotions or needs to the point of self-neglect. This means that a family member's beliefs and decisions become the unquestionable basis for who you are, what you do, and what you believe in. And this isn't only applicable to families, but also to friends and romantic relationships. This video series, though, solely focuses on enmeshed parent-child dynamics. Now, you should note that being close to your family isn't automatically unhealthy. The difference is that healthy families encourage their members to share their differing opinions, insights, and interests. This fosters acceptance and safety. While enmeshed families create closeness using conformity, members are pressured to do things to keep the peace, or even base major life decisions, like college or gender identity, on their family's expectations, rather than personal choice. In turn, this creates an unhealthy dependence on family members for personal decisions. Besides closeness, let's look at another important idea on enmeshment: boundaries. But what exactly are boundaries? According to psychology researcher Chernata, boundaries are personal limits that people place to protect one's physical and emotional well-being and serve as guides on how they want to be treated by others. Boundaries can exist in many forms. There are mental boundaries, such as the beliefs you allow yourself to be influenced by. Emotional boundaries, like when you decide what things you're comfortable with sharing. Social boundaries, such as choosing who you spend time with or when you need some time alone. Physical boundaries, like needing privacy or describing the physical touch you want to give or receive. And workplace boundaries, like separating the things you do with your coworker versus a friend outside work. Aside from the different types, we can differentiate enmeshed families by how they set boundaries. There are generally three kinds of boundaries in family systems: diffuse, rigid, and clear. Number 1. Diffuse boundaries. These are overly open, making family roles and emotions blurry. Here, guardians may rely on their children to fill a need. Some may treat their children as scapegoats, caregivers, breadwinners, or dependents that are incapable of living without them. Number 2. Rigid boundaries. These are strict and closed off, the opposite of diffuse boundaries. These boundaries overprotect one's autonomy at the expense of connection. Family members may avoid situations where they must be emotionally vulnerable, leading to no communication or change. Number 3. Clear boundaries. These are flexible and well-defined, letting families stay connected through support of each other's individuality and guidance. For families with clear boundaries, guardians can guide children by helping them see their options, and children can decide without being afraid of rejection or guilt. These boundaries will become more relevant later on, but for now, let's explore what causes enmeshment. Now, there isn't one simple answer. For Barber and Bueller, they suggest that one main cause of enmeshment is when guardians consciously or unconsciously sacrifice a child's individuality in order to create or preserve family closeness. Sometimes, parents experience events that have undeniably shaped their experience of the world, and therefore influences how they raise their children. These experiences can include unresolved trauma, conflicting cultural norms, intergenerational values, and marital or family conflicts. While it doesn't condone their behavior, it's important to note that enmeshment doesn't happen because guardians lack love. Rather, it may be displayed in counterproductive behavior rooted in a place of fear, stress, hurt, or generations of family patterns. And finally, let's clear up one important misconception. If you've taken a closer look at the concept of enmeshment, you may think that this Western concept undermines our collectivist culture. We even prioritize championing boundaries, individuality, and self-autonomy. So wouldn't it mean that learning about these rejects our culture that prioritizes forming good interpersonal relationships? Well, no. While enmeshment is a Western concept, it distinctly separates itself from healthy social closeness, called interdependence. Interdependence is when you are able to show up as yourself, be loved even beyond your family roles, and when you can give or receive without constantly needing to compromise every aspect of your needs, wants, or values. Conversely, enmeshment sacrifices these, all to fill emotional gaps in either the parent or the child. So, learning about how to combat it allows you not only to take care of your own needs, but also to form sustainable, deep connections. So now that we've given you an idea of what enmeshment is, we can now build that knowledge as we move on to our next question. What contributes to family enmeshment in Filipino families? Sit back as we answer this question and other key factors in family enmeshment in our next video. If you have any questions, thoughts, or suggestions on the video, let us know down in the comments. We're also available on Facebook, Instagram, and our email at talihanan@gmail.com.